Hey guys, today we're out here in a rugged, isolated mountain range in eastern Nevada, and we're going to be looking for something very, very special. This is a piece of history. We're looking for the crashed wreckage of a lost Cold War era jet fighter that went down somewhere in these mountains in mysterious circumstances almost 70 years ago. We're going to learn about what could have possibly led to this crash, and we're going to be looking for the final resting place of this lost airplane wreckage. Now, we're already way out in the middle of nowhere as it is, but the roads are going to get probably more and more primitive as we progress until we're eventually just going to be driving down some old mining dirt roads to try to get as close as possible as we can to this airplane wreckage and then hike the rest of the way. All right, just to give you an idea how far it is, it's way up there. That is going to be a gnarly hike. So let's see if we can reach the airplane wreck. Sometimes these airplane wrecks are total smithereens, but this one, from what we can see on the drone, is actually somewhat intact. You can at least make out the wings and part of the fuselage, and even what seemed to be an afterburner, but I'm not an expert. So please, 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 feel free to correct me or add whatever you're able to notice. All right, guys, it is getting steep, but still walkable. Not sure how much you can see the steepness, but it's pretty steep up here. We're pretty high up. Not sure what this is, but it's really interesting. It's just something sticking out of the rock. Not sure if it's a metal tool or a fossil or what, but it's just very odd how this shape is just protruding from the rock. I don't know, you be the judge. Very interesting though. Whoa, there's a piece of wreckage. I think we've reached it. Wow, look at this stuff here. This wreckage. I don't even know what part of the plane this was. It is steep though. You gotta watch your step. Wow, look at that. There's debris everywhere. Looks like the crash was more violent than it looks initially when you look at it from the drone. Being here gives you a better idea of how hard the crash was. Just so many little pieces, you can't possibly find them all. So yeah, I'm gonna guess this is part of the fuselage / afterburner. Wow. There's some text right here. Installed fuel to something plugs. I don't know, maybe it means something to you all. I can't quite figure it out though. Not sure what this is, maybe fuel related. Okay, glad there's no snake there. I don't know, I'm sure somebody somewhere in my chat is gonna know what this is. Whoa, is this from the cockpit or something? Maybe. I don't know what this is. Help me out, guys. I don't know if they're like switches or buttons or something. I don't know. No clue. Not sure what this is. Wow. I mean, it was a tough hike, but it was every bit worth it to experience history. 1950s Cold War Air Force history. Incredible. Of course, an aircraft enthusiast or mechanic would have a bonanza here of information and relics to look at. That's crazy. So I think these are the flaps right here, which is impressive that they're still intact. Wow, that's incredible. Can't even begin to understand what some of this stuff is, but again, somebody out there will know for sure. So this would have been the engine or something. Incredible. You can see the inner workings more or less. The plane is a beauty. Kind of stuff that you normally only see in museums. Just gives you an idea of the kinds of dangers and challenges that the Cold War era airmen had to face. You just never knew when something could go wrong. Incredible. It's an amazing piece of history. And we come here with the utmost respect to try to understand what happened here and learn more about the daring pilot of this aircraft.
This story begins when a flight of 6 F-100 Super Sabre jet aircraft took off on a routine training flight from Webb Air Force Base, Texas to George Air Force Base, California on July 25th of 1957. Some of the flight members noted that one member of the flight group, pilot First Lieutenant Samuel Bacon, appeared not to be feeling too well. However, he assured them he was all right and felt well enough to fly. He had gone to the flight surgeon at 7:30 that morning complaining of a sore throat and a cough. The doctor gave Lieutenant Bacon some medication and he was told to gargle and get some rest. However, formally grounding the pilot never appears to have been even considered. To make matters trickier, the weather on the flight route included scattered thunderstorms with heavy turbulence and hail. Notwithstanding the dangers and challenges, the flight still took off according to plan that evening, and the group gradually climbed to 43,000 feet. While approaching the airspace over El Paso, Texas, some of Lieutenant Bacon's wingmen started to notice that he was struggling to maintain proper formation with the other aircraft, and he was having difficulty communicating with his flight group via the radio. Soon, Lieutenant Bacon's aircraft was observed dropping slowly out of sight and into the cloud tops, and Lieutenant Bacon was heard to say that he had lost sight of his group. Approximately 5 minutes east of Tucson, Arizona, 2 aircraft engaged afterburners to assist Lieutenant Bacon in establishing visual contact, but this was unsuccessful, and contact with the ailing pilot was soon lost altogether. From that point forward, approximately 200 planes were involved in the daily search for the lost jet for almost a month. The jet crash site was finally located on August 20th after 28 days of urgent searching. It had crashed on the western slope of the Egan mountain range, about 10 miles west of the town of Cherry Creek, Nevada. The pilot was found in the burned-out cockpit, deceased. Officially, the primary cause of the accident was undetermined. It was later concluded that the high-altitude flight, mixed with the pilot's viral illness and a possible oxygen and/or pressurization system failure, had most likely led to the pilot's erratic behavior and subsequent death. Hypoxia, or deficiency in the amount of oxygen, was suspected due to his erratic actions and slow communications with other members of the flight. As I survey the rocky location of the crash on the side of the mountain, it's obvious that this was no place to try and land a plane. In addition, pilots in the F-100 Super Sabre were trained to never stay with the jet if they got into trouble. The procedures required pilots to eject, especially at night over unfamiliar terrain. However, if the pilot was unconscious in the cockpit, then the jet plane would have simply kept on flying on autopilot until it ran out of gas. This would explain why the jet was found so far off course. The evidence at the scene confirmed that the engine was not turning at the time of impact and that it most likely flamed out due to fuel starvation. The jet ended up simply falling from the sky after it ran out of fuel. As a result of the accident report, several safety measures were instituted. All pilots were rebriefed to ensure that they did not fly if they had any doubt about their physical condition. Pilots were also briefed about the correct procedures to follow if they became lost, especially at night. To further enhance safety, all squadron pilots were reappraised of the importance of abandoning the aircraft at least 10,000 feet above the ground when a suitable emergency landing field was not available. Other recommendations included strengthening the seat structure and relocating the liquid oxygen converter in the cockpit.
Wow, it's just so quiet, so solemn up here. It's just truly tragic what happened, but at the same time, you know that this was a catalyst for improvement and progress in some of their safety policies to prevent incidents like this from ever happening again in the future. But I think it's much, much more than that. It's a sobering reminder of some of the challenges and the difficulties and dangers that were faced and surmounted by the daring airmen of the Cold War era. Thanks so much for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you on my next adventure.